Sometimes when I'm cruising around the internet, Facebook, sometimes, different forums I'm a member of, I find these really intelligent questions that are simple, but worth talking about. So today we're going to go over some of those. And this question I thought was really kind of curious because a lot of people don't know the answer. And it's how come all these ghost hunting teams wear t-shirts with their, the logo or something on them, and why are they the color black? Always black t-shirts. Well, let's answer that question. Now, one of the big things here is the answer to this really is going to depend on who you ask. So I can only speak from my experience and what I've been exposed to. But the t-shirt thing for us kind of started when we did in 1985. The challenge back then was trying to find haunted places locally. You remember the internet didn't exist. So you can go to the library and you could read about, hauntings in Gettysburg, or we could read about hauntings in London someplace. And we couldn't go to those areas. So how are we going to find haunted places to investigate? Well, the idea was to make t-shirts to kind of advertise who we are, what we're doing. And when we'd go into a new town, we'd go into the bar, sit down, order a beer, and sure enough, someone would eventually see the shirt and go, hey, is that real? Are you really a ghost hunter? And say, yeah, I'm kind of interested in this stuff. Well, have you heard about Old Man Griggin's place? Like, no, I haven't. But tell me about it, and that's how we would find out. In one instance, I was in Santa Fe having dinner, and I was wearing, the ghost hunter shirt, that we had. And the waitress came up that was waiting on me and says, hey, my family has a hotel they think is haunted up in Chama, New Mexico. Well, again, the shirt scored another new location that we wouldn't have found otherwise. So that was originally its purpose. It's just to advertise. I think once ghost hunters came on TV and they were wearing team shirts, it was kind of the whole monkey see, monkey do kind of thing, and then everybody started wearing them. As for the color black, well, my opinion is it's more of a fashion choice. Black goes well pretty much with everything. So it doesn't matter if you're wearing khakis, blue jeans, whatever, a black shirt goes with it. Where if you're trying to put a design, on a yellow shirt or something, there's going to be some fashion combinations that aren't going to work very well there. Also, in terms of graphic design, a design on, for example, the design pops. Where if this same design was on a white shirt, it wouldn't have the same, appeal. It wouldn't jump out at you. However, again, this is going to depend on who you ask. There are some people that think the color black has certain supernatural characteristics based mainly upon folklore. And I've heard many of these. One is that ghosts can't see the color black. So I don't know what the philosophy is there of like, okay, we'll sneak up on them or something, because unless you have black face paint on it, it's kind of messed up. They're going to see a disembodied head. So that doesn't make sense to me, but some people do buy into that. Also in the 90s, there were a couple reasons why teams were wearing shirts. One was right as we were transitioning from 35 millimeter photography to digital photography, we found that we were getting more, anomalies, orbs, if you will. Although we've eventually discovered, hey, these things are just dust particles. But in the beginning, when you're studying it, well, do you really want this white object, to appear on a white shirt, which would, it would blur it out, or would you prefer to have a black shirt where it's going to stand out? So people were using black shirts for that reason. Another reason that was happening in the 90s, when the internet was new, there was a really big problem with people ripping off other people's pictures that they were putting online and claiming them as their own. What they were trying to do to counter that, you saw a lot of pictures back then with big old watermarks on it, but a lot of people didn't like that because it kind of takes away from the photography. And so they started wearing shirts with their name on it or whatever, and had a protocol of, well, the person has to be in the picture, therefore you have the name and everything, and people can't rip the picture off and claim it, as their proof of paranormal or whatever the hell they were doing with it. So that's why the shirts are there. Today, I think shirts do have a role in terms of trying to promote yourself. But to me, there's a line between where they're useful and where they're more of a hindrance. And that line, really, I kind of draw it on investigations. You know, if you're going to a place to investigate it, everybody showing up in ghost hunting shirts is going to attract the wrong kind of attention. You know, you get a, you know, like say you're doing a hotel, well, people see you going in, like, oh, there's ghost hunters and they're checking that room out. And then later in the evening, hey, let's go see what they're doing. Well, at that point, they're interfering with your investigation more so than helping it. So, you know, again, it's who you ask, but there's my opinion.